years, tofu sellers would go around town selling tofu in the evening. There used to be many tofu sellers, but the number has declined to 1/5 of what it was 50 years ago. Why have so many left the business? They can't compete with the low prices of supermarkets. But one young man has bucked this trend by starting his own tofu shop. The Ryogoku district of Tokyo's Sumida ward has been at the heart of traditional Tokyo for centuries. Yasuyuki Yokoi built his own tofu shop here from scratch. When Yokoi was in high school, he tried a certain kind of tofu and was astounded at how delicious it was. He immediately decided he would make tofu for a living. After graduating from university, he became an apprentice to a tofu maker in Kyoto. But the apprenticeship was tough. Temperature, humidity, the condition of the beans. Slight differences in any of these factors would influence the resulting tofu. He often made mistakes and wasted soybeans. Whenever that happened, I really felt inept. The mistakes were entirely my fault. Of course. During his apprenticeship, Yokoi carried a notebook around with him wherever he went. Whenever he figured out what he had done wrong, or he saw something to remember, he would make a note for future reference. He was determined to create tofu of his own that was so delicious it would astound people. So Yokoi battled with the temperamental nature of soybeans day after day, in the heat and in the cold. 8 years later, having survived that grueling apprenticeship, Yokoi finally opened his own tofu shop. He fulfilled his dream of making and selling tofu the old-fashioned way, dealing face-to-face with the customer, in the neighborhood where he was born and raised. The first thing that Yokoi learned in his apprenticeship was the importance of selecting soybeans. It's about the flavor balance. Also, the physical firmness of the tofu. Even the blend has to be adjusted as the seasons change. But even when using the same beans, the flavor of the tofu varies depending on who makes it. A fundamental in tofu making is the amount of water soaked into the beans. But the moisture content undergoes subtle changes, depending on air temperature, humidity, water temperature, and the condition of the beans. Yokoi attunes himself to the voice of the beans each day so as to understand their condition. This ability to listen to the beans is the crucial skill that Yokoi mastered during his 8 years of apprenticeship. Yokoi is very particular about using as little coagulant as possible to set the tofu. He believes that it detracts from the inherent flavor of the soybeans. However, too little of the coagulant and the tofu will not set properly and be runny. How has today's tofu turned out? It seems that Yokoi is satisfied with this batch. More and more people in the neighborhood have learned of Yokoi's dedication to the occupation of tofu making, and he has a growing base of loyal customers. His wife, Kazuyo, runs the shop. We're keeping this place going. You're like a real boss now. Thank you. With the warm support of his old neighborhood, Yokoi continues to explore the tofu making tradition.